Hi and welcome. Today I'm going to be explaining some common MOBA or multiplayer online battle arena terminology and some specific Deadlock terminology to help ease your way into the game for some beginners. Some of the things that are unique to Deadlock, like boxes and slot machines, will change over time when watching this video, but hopefully almost everything else will stay the same as time goes on, and this will be helpful regardless of updates and balance changes throughout the game. Before I go into that though, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and join the Discord if you'd like to join the community where we all help each other out. I can also review some of your games on stream to help learn and improve everyone. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with some specific Deadlock terminology. The first things are boons. Boons are basically your levels in each match that give you ability points and flat stats on level up. You get boons by doing objectives and by meeting certain soul thresholds. In the bottom left, you can see your boon level, and you can see what you get for whenever you reach when you level up. Souls. Souls are the currency or money in the game, like other traditional MOBAs. That lets you buy items, and of course, they give you the boons for ability points. You can see your souls on the top based off how many souls you've accumulated in the game. Compared with everyone else, if they had souls, the number would be underneath them too. And the bottom left one is the souls that you currently have that you can use to buy items. So for unsecure souls, whenever you kill neutrals or you destroy boxes such as these and they drop souls, those souls go into an unsecured slot on your hero. Over time, those souls will be converted into regular souls that can be used, and when they still will be used to buy items. But if you die with unsecure souls, the bag that you have behind your person will be dropped on the ground that anyone can pick up, including the enemy. If you buy items with unsecured souls, those will be used and you don't have to worry about them. But the main thing is don't die with a lot of unsecured souls and let the enemy possibly getting them. So this bag behind me is the unsecured souls, and this is the unsecured soul amount. As you see, it's trickling down. In a normal game, this would be converted to the number on the left. And whenever you buy, like I said, it'll still use the unsecured souls. So you don't need to worry about which one's going to be used. So the main point again is don't die with a lot of unsecured souls. So soul sharing is a thing that exists in Deadlock, and the exact numbers have changed over time. But the more teammates that you have present on a lane, whenever a minion dies like that and you saw the little soul orb, those souls are split amongst your teammate. So if there's more teammates on a lane, the less souls go to each player. On the inverse side, if there's one person on the lane fighting and getting the minion souls, that one person is going to get all of the souls. So this is a good way to let your teammate catch up if they're behind, or if you want one person on your team to really get a good soul lead over the rest of the team, friendly or enemies. It's a good way to let them do that by them soaking and absorbing all the souls by staying in that lane by themselves. Waves are minion waves. So from your base, in a traditional lane on the zip lines, 4 minions spawn from the base and they push the lanes. Minions aren't specific to Deadlock only, but the mechanic for securing and denying souls is, when they die, a percentage of the souls still goes to you, but the other percentage of the souls is the orb that spawns overhead. Like so. When the orb is orange or blue, if you shoot it or melee it, you would then get the remaining souls for you or your teammate. So when your friendly minion dies and it becomes an orange orb, and if you shoot it instead, you are denying the enemy team the souls and your team gets the souls instead. And the same thing with blue. When it's blue, you are securing the souls for yourself, so the enemy team didn't get them. Another important thing is that if you melee kill minions, they don't spawn an orb at all, but the good thing is that you still get all of the souls for you and your team, or teammate rather. And whenever their health bar is red, light red, like that, I was late. When it's light red, then they are 1 melee punch away from dying. So it's a good way to indicate and know that if you can punch them, they are going to die. So that's why they get light red when that health bar turns that way, so that you know that they are melee punch away. An important thing to note though is that if neither you nor the enemy shoots the orb and it floats up and disappears and shows like it poofs, you're still going to get those orbs regardless. The main exception is that if it was to hit the ceiling or the wall without it poofing away, you do not get the souls. So if it collides with something, and if this guy was underneath or next to this and hit that, or like I said, hit our ceiling, you wouldn't get the souls. So make sure they don't hit that. And then if you are not close enough to the enemy minion, whenever they die, they're not even going to spawn an orb. So if these were to die over here without being close to them, and you don't kill it, and like a minion wave killed it, so like if once these start coming up here now, and once they kill it, if I'm not near it, they actually will not spawn an orb. As you saw, there's no orb there. So the exact distance has been changed over time, but the important thing is that if minions die without being too close to them, they won't even spawn an orb. So flex slots. So you right now currently start with 8 item slots that you can buy, be used for anything. But as you complete objectives throughout a match, you unlock additional item spots, which are seen in the bottom left corner with these locked icons. They are definitely powerful as they let you buy additional items, and being limited to 8 items can make you weak compared to an enemy team that has 9, 10, or all of them. You can hover over the lock icon to see what to do to unlock a flex slot. So if I look down here, it's after you stream 1 enemy walker, and this one whenever a team destroys all the guardians, which I'll explain to those later. These have changed a lot over time, so the way to unlock them could still change in the future, but that is how they currently see. But hovering over them will still tell you that. Boxes and gold statues, or some people might even say box runs. So boxes have a chance to spawn souls when destroyed, such as that you can pick up, and they go into your unsecured cell. Gold statues have a chance to spawn permanent stat buffs, like that, for the duration of the game when broken. The amount they give you of either permanent stats or souls scales over time, so the longer that the game goes on, as you see at the top, the greater value they give. If someone says, I'm going to go do a box run, that normally means they're going to go look around specifically for boxes so that they can get souls and stats at the same time while leaving their lane. They're a good objective to do between minion waves and also while you're doing neutral farming or other objectives. The timing on when they first spawn is 2 minutes, and the time that they can spawn afterwards does change over time. Like patch note wise, they've changed that over time. But currently they are 2 minutes, and they spawn I think every 2 or 3 minutes afterwards. But that time can change over time. So center sacrifices or slot machines, depending on how you test. So you could hear a teammate say, I'm going to go do slots, or I'm going to do center sacrifice. This is what they're talking about right here. So you melee these, you take some damage, but you melee them and you'll see the lights go down, which is the health bars technically of them. So you would light or heavy melee for the most value. And then when there are 3 lights left on this one, so that's 3 hits. So the next hit will start a countdown timer. So if you heavy melee when this light glows, you will get permanent stats. And if you light melee when it's there, you're going to get a permanent stat as well. But if you do 3, or if you do it on this light bulb here, you're going to get 4 stats. If you do on this one, you're going to get 1. So to get your most value out, you want to hit it. You want to do a heavy melee when the light hits this one to make sure you get it there, as you can see now. And you'll hear that jingle, and then you can see the stats there. Those stats can add up over time, so prioritizing or denying the enemy team those slot machines will help out in the long run. They are indicated on the map with this little square and a circle on them, here, 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 and etc. The location of them has changed somewhat over time, but they don't get changed too frequently, but the icon most likely will get changed as time goes on. So the shops and secret shop are where you buy items. This isn't unique to Deadlock, but where they are on the map, the secret shops are indicated by this one here, where it's the little icon next to the buff. There's one on each side, one for yours and one for the enemies. Those are the secret shops. And during the laning phase, as long as this guardian is alive on any side, so each lane has their own. You can see here, there's one here, but I'm in the way. And then there's one on green. Each lane has a shop at the beginning. If this was to die, the shop is not available to use. And this is where you can come in and buy your items whenever you have enough money. Bridge buffs or buffs are these crystals that spawn every 5 minutes in the game on the left or right side of the map. So right now there's one on the left side and there's one in front of me on the right side. They give a specific buff based off of what icon is shown. So that's a movement one. And that one across there is spirit. And now it's fortitude. And then that one's now gone. So if it's fortitude, it gives extra healing regen and extra health. If it's spirit, which is what the purple is. It gives extra spirit damage along with cooldown reduction. If it's gun, which the orange one was, it gives you extra gun damage and fire rate and extra ammo count. And then if it is blue, which is for movement, it makes you move faster. It gives you more stamina and sprint speed. To break them, you jump over to one and you would heavy melee as indicated by the text, and you would heavy melee and you now have the buff, and it'll tell you on the bottom what that buff does. There's the gun one. And then whenever you have the buff, you can see in the bottom left corner on how long they last. So Deadlock has a lot of cool, unique movement in its system that not a lot of even just shooter games have. So once you start to get a feel of it, it's really hard to play some other games. I know like when I play other games, other shooter games, like I'll end up getting over a ledge, and then sometimes I'll press the crouch button expecting to slide, and I can't. So it'll take some time definitely getting used to, but so I'm going to be covering over some of the main unique stuff in the game when it comes to movement. The first is the zipline, which you can see here and on the map being yellow and green. The colors have changed over time. Even originally there was 4 lanes, so there was 4 zip lines, but it's the main movement system in the game. When you press the jump button, you'll see that it's how the game starts and you move on it. And that's a quick way to get around the map. And you'll see that it says zipline boost when you're hovering, and right there, normally it's your parry button, and it's the timing whenever you can boost has changed over time as well. But right now, after 6 minutes is the first time that you can zipline, and it will tell you on a timer whenever you're ziplining when it's available as well. But when you press it, it gives you a speed boost, and it even tells you it's active. And because I have the other 2 buffs on here, I actually would have a timer for the zipline boost, and you would see it counting down for how long it lasts. But the zipline boost is a really strong way to get around the map when you need to in emergencies. So sliding and mantle sliding, and so what sliding does in Deadlock is that it gives you actually infinite ammo. So right now I have 33 out of 33. When I slide, you'll see it changes to infinite. So I can actually fire without it counting down on 23. And a lot of things that you can do during this is you can spam crouch while you're firing to get the most value out of it at times. So especially when you get higher movement speed on your character, this is a great way to keep ammo on your gun by spamming slide while you are fighting. The next thing with sliding though is that if you hold the crouch button whenever you get over a ledge, you will actually start sliding and gives all the properties of sliding. So infinite ammo on top of getting a movement speed. So if I was to climb up this and hold crouch, you'll see that I'll slide. So take advantage of holding crouch when you get over ledge. It works on every single ledge in the game. So make sure to do that. So wall bounce. So you can actually wall bounce in the game. Just by pressing the jump button next to a wall for extra movement. And there are a lot of other guides that break down, and there's a lot of extreme movement tech which you can do on corners that actually go a long way. I'm not going to be covering those, so I would suggest to recommend going watching another person's video on how they break down movement on wall bouncing and how to take advantage of that, and go and support them for that. So vents or jump pads. So these exist in the jungle area. The locations of them have changed over time, but whenever you see this vent with this wind, what that's telling you is that that's where that jump pad is going to direct you. So if you're laning in yellow, you could take this jump pad to easily get to the buff. There's another jump pad above that side, so blue can jump to this side, and there's more jump pads on the green side. But then they're also in between the jungle area here and here, here and here. So if you see this, use this to get away or to move quickly to enemies whenever you need to, as you see there. And then you can see there's a jump pad right here. So they're over the place in the map. There's the other one, at least on this side. So take advantage of them when you can. So the objectives for Deadlock are the main 4 things to do in the game. It's actually how you win the game, not getting team kills. So on the map right now, these diamonds, these are the main objectives that you can see on top of this icon in the middle. The icon in the middle is actually Midboss. And I'm going to start this out by saying Midboss has changed a lot on what it provides. But the important thing to know is that it's in the middle of the map, and it's indicated by this icon on the minimap to know if it's alive. And it's also present in game. You'll see this little icon above here to know that it's alive. And also when it's about to spawn, this icon will indicate too. It spawns at 10 minutes. And it is underneath the basement, so there's a couple of ways to get in here. I'm not gonna show them all because this has changed a lot, and I'm gonna change some more. But right now, just know it's underneath blue. We'll find the way in the future where it's at. And this thing is the Midboss. Killing Midboss currently will spawn a Rejuve crystal that spawns above it, and it gradually floats down to the ground. And when it spawns to the bottom of the ground, you have to melee hit it to get it for your team. Again, what it does fully, I'm not going to go into all the details, but just know that as the game goes, as this thing dies more, you have to melee it more to take advantage of it. Otherwise, the enemy can take advantage of it. To damage the Midboss, you actually have to be in the pit, and the yellow bar or orange bar that you can see underneath my tag here is actually a DPS meter. With this blue bar, actually, it's full health. So you have to do enough damage for this to trigger for the blue health bar to go down. And once the blue health bar is fully gone, that's when it actually will die. So you see I'm shooting it, but I'm not doing enough damage to even hurt it. Now if I damage it, you'll see it starting to go down. And then if you punch it while meleeing it, you'll see that it's actually now meeting, or it went down some. The mid boss will only hurt one person at a time. So if someone is tanking it and struggling, you can rotate by backing off and letting them take the laser beam. And it's normally something that you can need other teammates to kill to meet the DPS check. However, there are some characters that can solo or duo kill this thing quick enough. Normally the constant gun heroes like Wraith and Haze. A lot of the times though, when mid-boss dies and get the Rejuve crystal, that normally starts to snowball towards the team that wins it, and the game normally ends shortly after. So mid-boss is a huge main objective in the game to finish the game. And so whenever you fight mid-boss, you want to make sure that you can secure it as safe as you can. So like killing 2 to 3 enemies for sure, or some other pressure on the map for the enemy to take care of while someone else comes down to hurt and damage mid-boss. So the urn is unique as well in Deadlock. You have to pick it up by hovering over it and the timer will go down. But whenever you pick it up, you are not able to shoot. So to drop it, you would press your parry button. But this red candles actually is important because when you pick it up, if it has red candles, it'll actually, the drop off location will be on the enemy side. If it has green candles, it'll be on your side. So if it was green candles, it would have been here where I'm circling. But since it is red candles, it is going where in the top left on the enemy side. This is to help some comeback mechanics for the enemy team because they are behind, and what accounts for behind or ahead is the overall total soul lead or soul gap between each team. The importance of the urn is that giving it and dropping it off gives your entire team the soul value that it has. So there's 4,000 right there. That's split amongst everyone, and then you also get permanent stat boost. The urn has changed somewhat over time as well, so what it does in the future will probably change, but just know that it's still an important objective that you should fight. So this is a Guardian. This is the next objective for pushing a lane. These are the standard towers or defensive objective in other MOBAs. Killing it removes the shop in the lane, like I discussed earlier, and you have to be close enough to damage. So if this was the enemy, I can't damage here. You have to be close enough like here to actually damage it. These are walkers. These are the second objective in a lane. They are stronger. They're a lot stronger than Guardians. And then being next to them gives you resistant boost. As you can see, I actually am getting resistance being right next to it already from here. And the damage that these take goes down over time. So do Guardians, but these ones really kind of go down more. And at 15 minutes or longer is the main time you really should try to pressure Guardians. So if you take a lane early, like 5 to 7 minutes, it's not normally best to super pressure a walker in the current state of the game, because it's better to try to get some souls and push a soul lead or help out other lanes or defend your Guardian. And like the Guardians as well, you have to be close enough to damage it. So if this was an enemy, I would have to be roughly around here to actually damage it. If I was way back here, I would not be able to damage the walker. These are your base Guardians, which are your third objectives in the lane. They're very similar to the first Guardians. They're not that much stronger compared to the other ones, but they're what they do is the exact same. And killing enemies base Guardians will cause the Zipline to move faster. And you have to be close enough to damage them as well. Something that I missed to say on the other Guardians is that you can actually parry Guardians whenever they attack. It's on a 5-second cooldown, and it's a good use to keep your minions alive because they won't melee, and it will interrupt them from lasering beam while your minions do more damage. So to parry the Guardian, you have to get close enough and just press your parry button. Nice try, when he does that, like I said, he stops attacking your minions and he'll attack you, but it'll interrupt him enough that they can live a little bit longer, and it'll make him stop damaging him as well. So parrying them is a good way to interrupt and preserve your wave as long as you can. And there's a cooldown in between how frequently you can parry them, so you can't just parry. Shrines. So these are where shrines, they don't move, they sit, they don't even attack you. There's a shrine here and a shrine on the other side. They may move location wise over time, but this blue bar, as you can see, it protects the patron, and you need the patron as the main objective. You have to kill both of them before you can damage the patron. All right, so this is the patron. It has 2 phases. This is phase 1 as it floats. As you can see, you have to kill it in order for it to drop right here. This is the main objective. To kill this thing twice is how you win the game. I 100% expect this to change over time. This is currently what it looks like, but as the layout of your base changes, it will change, and the behavior of what they do will most likely change. Okay, so once you kill this, a timer will go down, and then this platform will low, and then it will be in the centerpiece. Killing it the second time is how you win the game, but you have to be inside the pit in order to damage it, otherwise you can't hurt it. So now just some general MOBA terminology that I'm going to go over. This is going to be a lot quicker, and I'm just going to run through and ramble on some of these ones as quick as I can. So hopefully this will just help from that. So an area effect, or an AoE, is an attack that damages in a radius and can hurt multiple people. So Geist Bomb here is an AoE attack. Ability point, it's used to level up your abilities. So right now I have infinite, but that number down there is your ability points, and that's how you can level up your points. Currently in the game, you cannot actually max out all 4 abilities unless you run the urn. You will only be able to max out 3 and get the 2 on one of them, but those last 3 points come from the urn. Expect that to change. Don't be surprised if it changed, rather, but that's currently how it specs, that you cannot max out all 4 abilities. Carry is just normally someone that gets strong super late in the game. They normally get a lot of souls, drastically different in the souls, and they need less of the team to win. So like they can do like 1v6 or 2v6, depending on how much of a soul lead they have. A couple examples of them are Wraith, Haze, and Furnace, and Seven, as who I am right now. And if you want less team dependence, you would pick a carry character. A bait is just luring an enemy away or into something. So like if you went into collapse and you had your whole team over here and they were chasing you and you went to lure someone here, you would say, I'm going to lure or bait them so that you could all kill them over here without them knowing, kind of like a goat to a slaughter. Backdoor is destroying an objective without the minions are present or without the enemy team being aware. So if this was the enemy's guardian or enemy's walker and it was super low health, like right there, you could come over here and backdoor it without your minions even being here and just sit and shoot it. And that would be backdooring while the team is fighting somewhere else on the map. Collapse, everybody swarms on one objective or a person in order to quickly destroy it. So if there's other teammates here, like 3 or 4, and there's one person on blue, an enemy, collapsing would be just jumping and killing that person as quick as you can while everyone jumps and attacks at once. Cooldown, the time it takes to use your abilities. So using my ability, this timer that's showing, especially on all your other abilities, these are your cooldowns. CC or crowd control, these are abilities or items that debuff the enemy. This stun ability here, that is a crowd control once it stuns them. That is a CC. Deathballing is all or most enemy team moving as a group and pushing an objective or lane. So if 4 people push on blue and just constantly fighting on here, or even 5 or 6, that is what you would call deathballing, just moving as a group. Debuff, an ability or item that does something, that applies something that doesn't do immediate damage, but it causes an effect to have. So for an example is slowing bullets. They make the enemy move slower, so that would be classified as a debuff. They are now debuffed and they are slow now from slowing bullets. Disarming prevents the use of gun, like you can't shoot if you're disarmed, but you can still use abilities. So disarming Hex, they are no longer able to shoot, but they can use the rest of their abilities. Farming, getting the jungle neutrals or boxes to keep souls. So hunting these or killing these, that would be farming whilst not staying in your lane. It's good to farm in between minion waves, but if there's minion waves that need to be taken care of to protect your lane, don't constantly be farm while lanes are being pressured. Fix lanes or taking care of your lanes. So if there's 2 waves being pushed on yellow and you only have 1 wave and they're close to your walkers and all the rest of the team is over here, someone needs to go over to yellow to fix this lane because they will get to your walker and damage your walker, and protecting your objectives is the main priority to winning the game. So fixing your lanes is going to take care and fix the minion waves. That's what someone means when they're saying I need to fix the lanes, or when you ask someone to fix the lanes. Gank isn't just an attack from the side or behind that while being sneaky so the enemy isn't aware, so you can jump and kill them as instantly. So if I had someone right here over there that was being sneaky where like up there or where the neutrals are and the Calico's here, they could come gank and we could come and kill this Calico. Jungle, again, that's where the neutrals and the boxes are, so this is the jungle. Last hit, this was discussed in the menu section, but it's the blue orbs or the minions that you shoot to deny or secure souls. There used to be more mechanics in the game for last hitting, but that has changed. Map control is controlling the lanes. If your lanes are pushed over halfway point, which is where Midboss is right here, then that's normally like kind of the what you should use to gauge. And if your lanes are pushed over and past that into the enemy side of the map, then you have good map control. If your waves are all the way pushed over here, you have poor map control. Having good map control lets you see where enemies are because of the minions, and being aware of the map where enemies are is good to not get jumped on and die. Minions are the guys that little spawn. So if someone said the minions, that's the little 4 guys that we talked about earlier. Neutrals, that's what all these little triangles are on the map. They spawn at 2 minutes, 6 minutes, and then 8 minutes. What tier is based off of that number? That changes over time, but for right now it's 2, 6, and 8 minutes. This little guy here is a tier 1 minion. This little guy is tier 2, and this big guy is tier 3. If you see a triangle with 2 bars, that means it has up to a tier 3 minion. Doesn't mean they're all tier 3. If it's a triangle with 2 bars, or sorry, 1 bar, it is just a tier 2. So these guys are just all tier 2. And if you see just a triangle, then that is just a tier 1. Getting neutrals is good to say and have a soul lead or to catch up, but remember minion waves take priority, so you can kill your minion wave, then go get some neutrals and come back to the lane, or kill 1 minion or kill 1 neutral and then come back to your minion waves. Roaming is what someone would say if they're moving between lanes, normally looking for a kill, but it could also mean getting jungles and boxes. Silence is preventing any abilities, but they can still shoot. So if I get silence wave here, they are now silenced and they cannot use their abilities, but they can still shoot me. It's good for movement characters such as Calico. So she can't use her slash or her dash. She can't use her ultimate, etc. Split pushing is pushing multiple lanes or objective at once. So if you had 3 people on yellow, 3 people on green, you are now split pushing, and now the enemy has to decide which one do we save, and you are now making them have to think and decide what do we do, where they spread thin, or they all go on 1 lane to protect it while you get something else out of value. Snowball, an early lead leading to a bigger lead, and then you just snowball literally over the enemy. Not literally, you just snowball and run over the enemy. Basically, they can't really do anything to you, and because you just have such a drastic soul lead and the items that you have, they can't catch up to you, and they just cannot win any team fights. Stealing is taking enemy neutrals, boxes, or slot machines. So this side is the enemy and above. So if you were to take these jungles, whether the slots or the neutrals, you are stealing from the enemy, which is good because it denies them those souls. Lastly, their ultimate. Everyone has an ultimate. Mine is Q because I played Overwatch. So it's the big ability at the end that some characters are better, or rather they get more value to it, and it can really be really big gameplays, while others is just a normal like not insta kill, but a strong killing ability for like 1 or 2 people. Really depends on the character and their kit. And it normally has a large cooldown. You can see the eye underneath my name, so right where it's at, once I let go, that eye is my ultimate. When I use my ultimate, it is now shut, and you can see a little circle around it. That means I do not have my ultimate, and the enemy can see that as well, so they can also tell that I do not have my ultimate, which is really good to know to play around objectives depending on who has the ultimate, such as Dynamo, if he has his black hole, and you should know to play around it. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed me going over the terminology. If you liked the video, Definitely let me know if you want more like this or need me to explain something else. Make sure to go to my YouTube homepage. I have a playlist for guides and tips as well. That was where I store all my educational content, and I can go over build items, laning, game analysis, and more. So thanks for watching. Join the Discord, follow, and thanks as always.